sneak peek at Karen Strassman's upcoming anime dubbing workshop. She'll be joining us here in a few minutes, and also a live role play. That will be a bit abbreviated because we'll have lots to discuss before then. But we will run up until 7:30 if you want to stay for that. And let me check my email, make sure I'm not getting communication from our special guest. Okay. If you have not met me before, my name is Austin David Coffey. I'm the production manager for Samurais of Sound and Strawberry Hill Studio. That's where I am sitting this evening. We are in Marin County, just north of San Francisco. And we are involved in lots of projects, but Samurais of Sound is our online community of voice actors, of which many of you are members. And we do, basically what we do is our program is designed to kickstart your voice acting career. So that's everything from training, workshops, private training, ongoing challenges, web page, discounts on getting your home studio set up, so on and so forth. And today, a lot of the focus will be on one of our workshops in particular, and an original production from Strawberry Hill Studio, which is called Echoes of Eternity. And we'll be announcing the cast of the first edition of the first episode today. I have a little special something prepared for that moment, and seeing lots more people join. Okay, so with that said, why don't we just get started with some introductions? Try to keep them brief today. There's going to be a lot of people coming, and then, of course, Karen is on her way. So, Ivan, with that said, can you share a few words about yourself as a voice actor?
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure that you see, I've been practicing voice acting for decades now, and sometimes being voice actor is kind of like a cool thing. Normally, I do it for my hobby, but I'm practicing for my career.
All right, and Grant Johnson, welcome, Grant.
Thanks. I've been voice acting. I guess I started private coaching back in 2021. Got a demo done around 23 and signed with an agency shortly after.
Congratulations. Wow.
Thanks.
What agency did you sign with?
Innovision out of San Diego.
That is phenomenal. Welcome, Grant. Syed, welcome.
Hey, Austin.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'm taking up voice acting. Hi guys. My name is Syed Hussein Athar. You can call me Syed or Hussein. Both are fine. Either is fine. I'm a scientist. I do research. I work with software and tech and things like that. I'm getting into voice acting as a fun little side hobby. I also like cosplaying, and I'm going to be at Gen Con here in Indiana this year. So, yeah.
Welcome, Syed. JC, welcome back.
Hello, my name is John Carlos. You can call me JC. I've been studying voice acting for about 2 or 3 years. First under Joshua Seth, and then under Karen Strassman for Real Voice LA, and then now for Strawberry Hill. And right now I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I'm studying French and Spanish so I can be quadlingual, so that way I can translate in multiple languages for animation studios. And so far, I'm doing very well. I'm setting up for for our project right here, and then trying to contact Karen's agent as well to see if there's other projects. And I'm a cosplayer and an artist as well. You can even I do commissions for $20, and then I am a cosplayer as well. I'm heading to Collecticon in the end of May.
Thank you, JC. Welcome, Rian. Welcome back.
Yes, hello. I've been affiliated with Strawberry Hill for quite some time, and I'm currently, now that I finished school, I'm now trying to work on my voice acting career, and I hope many opportunities come in the future.
I'm sure they will. Welcome back, Rian. KJ, hi.
Of course.
Hey, Austin. Yeah, I'm KJ Hoyt. I'm a teacher. That'll probably be changing soon with all the budget cuts and everything. So I've always wanted to be a voice actor. I met Austin and I met Raj. I joined Strawberry Studios a few months ago. They've been treating me really good. I got my equipment through Austin. So
Yes.
I'm looking
Welcome,
forward.
KJ. I will say I am going to admit Karen Strassman now.
Okay.
So
Looking forward to this session. Thank you.
All right, please give a warm welcome to a cornerstone of our Samurai of the Sound community, the legendary voice actress Karen Strassman. Welcome, Karen.
Yay!
Hi, you guys.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your incredibly busy schedule to share with our community.
It is so my pleasure. I've got a production meeting that I'm driving to. So I'm going to be with you as I drive. But I'm excited to be here. I'm so excited about this project. And yeah, I want to answer any questions and be as present for you in any way, shape, or form that produces joy.
Yes, thank you so much. Now, Karen, you have a lot of things, a lot of coals in the fire with Strawberry Hill Studio and Samurai as a Sound. One of them is your upcoming anime dubbing workshop that we have been hard at work behind the scenes assembling footage from Bleach. Tell us, what can people expect from that workshop?
Hold on. Let me just get my camera so people can see me and I can drive at the same time.
Of course, safety first. Take your time, please.
Very useful. Hold on. Hold on one sec. Okay, I think that is not too bad. You guys can see me, right?
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah, we can see you.
The little bitty corner of my thing.
Yeah.
Good.
I have had so many requests from so many fans and so many clients and students to do dubbing workshops. You know, I do dialect workshops, anime workshops, audition workshops, video game workshops, but it's really hard online to train for dubbing, you know, dubbing anime, dubbing live action. And that's such a big part of our world. So together with Austin, we have figured out a way that we can do this, and we hope people are going to love it.
That's right. And you can purchase a ticket for Karen Strassman's anime dubbing workshop. I just posted a link in the chat there. This is a limited seating workshop, of course. And if you're a member, don't forget to use your discount code. You get 30% off on that workshop. Recently, we have Karen and I have been talking about expanding our services to things like doing private training with Karen. You can now book a private training session with Karen through our platform. I can give links to that for people who are interested. And you can get your demo reel directed by Karen Strassman. That is another one of our offerings now as well. So if anyone is interested, you can send me a message. I will, or the contact form on our website after this meeting, and I can get you set up with that. More details to come in your email, of course. And let's see, with that said, let's talk about another reason why we are gathered here, which is Strawberry Hill Studios' original production, Echoes of Eternity. Now, those who have been in the loop have known that the audition cycle has been going on for the last month and just came to a close for the first episode. Someone had a good point earlier that the auditions are currently open for the second episode. But today we're going to announce the cast. So in order to do that, I want to talk a little bit about the production model for Echoes of Eternity, because it's quite unique. It's our community-driven production model, and how it works is, if you're a Samurai as a Sound member, you can audition for a role in the production, and you'll receive $50 of Samurai as a Sound credit, plus you can join our affiliate program, which is open to anyone, actually. But if you're cast, it'll be a good idea to join, because you'll get 50% of the proceeds from the sales of the season 1, will go directly to you. So as you reach out to your network, be sure to share your link, and people can support you directly. Now, so there were a lot of auditions for this project. The engagement was just incredible. Lots of different perspectives on the characters that I really enjoyed. Obviously, I had to make a difficult choice, right? I can't cast everybody for the first edition. However, I say first edition because as a Samurai Sun member, one of your newest membership benefits is if you submit production audio for Echoes of Eternity, for the character you are auditioning for, we will make another edition of the episode with your voiceover in it, replacing whoever is cast for the first edition, if that makes sense. Not only will there be multiple episodes that you can audition for, if you remember, you can play the role that you want to play. That said, any brief questions about that before I reveal the official cast? I see that JC has his hand up.
Oh, sorry about that. Hi, Karen. Hi. It's good to see you again. I have a question. I was wondering, like before, if we already had a demo reel, it's possible that the second one, since it's gonna be my second one, to, do a bit of discount. And also, will you have a script for that, or should I have ideas of characters that we should do? Both you and Austin.
The question is about Karen Strassman directing the demo reel?
Yeah.
Yes, we will work with you, similar to the other demo reel production package, to develop the scripts. And then you'll meet with Karen for the direction phase where you are honing in on, okay, how do I best perform this character? Karen, feel free to weigh in on this as well. But that's the workflow.
So the idea is that Strawberry Hill will do what they always do for demos, i.e. they'll meet with you, you guys will figure out what kind of characters you want to play. Austin will write the scripts for you. And so you'll have all that. And where I come into play as a director is I will come in and we'll do I think it's an hour preparatory session where we work on all of the pieces of copy that you're going to have on your demo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come in a second time when you record your demo, and I come in for an hour and we record your demo together and I direct your record.
That's amazing.
Is that clear, Austin?
That's exactly right. So the production package will include 2 hour-long sessions with Karen, one where you're specifically rehearsing and another where you can be recording alongside her. If you guys are interested in getting started with that, I have a link for it. Karen's demo reel package. You can use that link to get started if that's something you're interested in. All right, so thank you for that question. And now we are going to play the little teaser trailer that I whipped up for the first episode of Echoes of Eternity. So let me get it set up here. And hold on. I gotta pin my video here. And I'm going to ask everyone to mute. I will play the video now.
Mine is the primal voice, spoken into the void. Before me there was only silence, a breathless hush.
Who am I?
All right, I'm getting comments that there's no sound. That is helpful to know. Let's see. Let me do some troubleshooting here. Getting quick time to communicate with Zoom is a work in progress. Give me 1 second. let's see. Okay, well, I don't want to waste anyone's time here, so we will be posting this video in the on our social media and stuff, but also in your members area under the Echoes of Eternity Season 1 viewing area, so you'll be able to see it there. And I will announce the cast. Oh, we got some more people in the waiting room here. Let me unpin myself. Okay, so we saw the first couple people, but let me pull up my list here. And Justin has been cast in the first edition as the part of Zuthaw. He couldn't actually make it this evening. He sent me a message shortly before we began. Something came up, but he will be cast in the first edition for the part of Zuthaw. Stephen Coletti, who's present with us this evening, will be voiced as the part of Nathaw. So, round of applause for Stephen. Stephen, you okay? You can unmute.
That should get it. I'm speechless right now, honestly.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing to hear. I'm glad you're excited. Your interpretation was spot on for what I envisioned for the character, so it's really great to hear.
Wow. Oh my God, thank you so much, Austin.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, this was the first of several auditions that I've done in recent. I had no expectations for this. I just gave it my all and did what I could for whatever I tried out for. Thank you for trusting me with this. I'm very honored.
Of course. All right. Next up, Chris Saito Joe has been cast as the character of Lozu.
Thank you much. I think I'm just as blown away as Steven, but yes, thank you. I'm gonna have to remember what I did.
If we had audio, you would have been able to hear your audition playing over the video. Again, we'll make sure that everyone sees that later.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, Chris, your audition was just perfect. And again, was exactly how I envisioned the character, even though I don't feel like that specific interpretation was represented by the audition scripts. You just sort of came to it almost telepathically, which is amazing. All right, next up, Christopher Hoyt, our KJ Hoyt, has been cast as Bodha.
Oh, God. Awesome. Huh. I didn't expect my name to show up, Austin. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yes. Next up, Ijeoma Modilam has been cast as Hozu.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh, what? I actually, again, I had zero expectations. But thank you so much for trusting me with this. I'm going to do my best to live up to what you want for that character. But thank you so much.
You've got this. Your audition was spot on. Next up, Deontay Black, who's I don't think is present at this meeting, but has been with us for quite some time, and has worked with some of our educators as well. And then is a part of our membership community, has been cast as Deju. And let's see. I had some notes here on the screen about pre-ordering for behind-the-scenes content. That's because Karen and I have lots of behind-the-scenes content planned for this production, but one of them, which we've been discussing, and I will switch my camera here so you can see me. That we've been discussing today is that Karen and I will be running through her part in the in season 1, episode 2, the part of Neichi, we will be running through that together on call and be recording the session. And then we will have that available as something that you guys can to see as well. And that will be available in where you go to watch season 1. And more information on that in our email. But Karen, feel free to chime in on that.
I'm just really excited about this, and if you don't mind, Austin, I'd like to acknowledge you, because you created all of this. This was your idea, wasn't it?
It was.
So you guys, let's just frame this. Austin was like, hey, I want to do something special for this group. I want to create, when he pitched it to me, he's like, I want to create opportunities for these guys to start working and have booked work under their belt, And so it's not just, they aren't just taking classes, but it's like, I want to create an opportunity for them to have booked work and for them to have real working sessions, to start you guys off or wherever you are in your path. And the thing that I think is really cool about this is, Austin is a prolific human being. I think you all may know he wrote a book, and he's written all of these episodes and he's conceived of them. And what's wonderful is it's like a win-win situation for everyone involved, because he gets to cut his teeth as an animation writer, and then cast you all. He knows you all. And it just, I was so inspired when he pitched the whole project to me and asked me to be part of it, because it's like, I think in the world we're in, there's too many people who kind of wait. Too many artists sit and wait to be noticed. They sit and wait. And Austin created this opportunity like, hey, I'm going to write this and I'm going to produce this, and we're going to do it with Strawberry Hill, and we're going to involve all these people and get them work and find a way to also get them paid for it. And it's just, you probably don't want the spotlight on you, Austin, but it's really important, even just educationally, to be aware of, like, that is how you get something done as an artist. That is how success happens, like, what can I do? How can I make something happen? How can I use my talents? How can I support other people? And it's one of the reasons why I adore Austin and respect him so much, because he's constantly thinking this way. And I just wanted to frame all that and put it in perspective, if that's okay with you, Austin.
I don't even know what to say. Yes, that's okay. Thank you.
Like, what you're doing is if you could step outside of it and not talk about yourself, but what you're doing is like a prototype for how to move oneself ahead and move other people ahead at the same time in a business that's competitive,
I'm so glad that is coming across. I really wanted this project to be, like you said, a win-win for everyone involved. And it's really taking shape as we move forward. I'm just really excited about the possibilities for everyone involved, and your involvement just means the world to me, as I'm sure it means the world to everyone else in our community as well. So I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Laura, I see your hands up.
Congratulations, everyone. This is so exciting. Question for episode 2, though. I see on the audition copy that some of the people who've already been some of the roles that have already been cast are listed. Are we re-auditioning for those roles on episode 2, or should those ones not be auditioned for because they're spoken for?
Let's see. In episode 2, some of the characters are, like, all the characters in episode 1 are also in episode 2. So that for the first edition, we will we will use the people who have been casted for episode 1, assuming they also want to do episode 2.
Got it.
And the part of Neichi has already been cast. That's Karen's role.
Good to know.
And I don't think I mentioned this specifically, but Karen is the narrator in all of the episodes. So even right from the get-go, episode 1, Karen will be part of the series. There are a few other roles in episode 2 that have not been cast yet, male and female. And those are all fair game for another month. I don't know the exact day that the audition cycle will close. But close is a loose term here because, as we mentioned before, if you submit production audio for any role as a Samurai Zan member, we will replace, we will get you in on another edition that we will have in the viewing area alongside the first edition where people can access it quite easily. And it will be sort of marketed and presented in tandem. So there's no shortage of opportunity, and I hope that answers your question.
Just basically that if you've already auditioned for, say, one of the God characters, don't submit again for episode 2. Just
yeah,
audition
it's not
for the new
necessary.
stuff.
It's not necessary.
Got it. Cool. That was it. Thank you.
Let's see. I want to hear from a couple more. And also be respectful of Karen's time. Karen has just a few more minutes. So any last questions for Karen before we let her go? Let's see. I want to hear from some people I haven't heard from yet.
I can actually stay about 5 minutes over.
Okay.
If it's helpful.
Okay. And that said, I still want to hear from some new people. Any questions?
I have a question.
All right, Ivan.
So, Karen, question for you. You become. I just want to say that I kind of like your voice acting. Your voice acting looks so cool.
Ivan, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say.
Oh, really? Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Karen, a question for you.
Yes.
What kind of anime did you voice act?
I'll tell you what, there's a website called IMDb. And you can look up Karen Strassman on IMDb. And there's also, if you look up like anime and Karen Strassman, or pull up some of the anime sites like Crystal something, it'll have a list of several hundred projects that I've done.
Oh, wow.
I will post a link to Karen's IMDb in the chat.
And there's also a couple anime sites where it's just anime specific.
All right, beautiful.
Okay,
a question from Andrew Tabay.
Hi, I do have a question for Karen, though. So, one of my favorite characters you voiced is actually Ruth the Bat. How did you actually came up with the voice of her?
Oh, gosh. I don't completely remember because I started voicing her about 15 years ago. But right now, kind of how I approach her, she's a combination between Marilyn Monroe and the female character in Roger Rabbit. What's her name? Jessica.
Jessica Rabbit, yeah.
Jessica Rabbit. So she's a combination between Marilyn Monroe and Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
Hey, Austin, Andrew, and Karen.
Hey, Leandrew. We're in we're taking turns right now, so I'm going to mute you. But Karen, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's complete. I'm complete.
Wonderful. Question from Stephen Coletti.
Hi, Karen. First off, pleasure to meet you, and I'm so honored to be doing this series with you. Big fan ever since Persona and then on, especially Odin Sphere. Great game.
Oh, I love Odin Sphere so much. That's so cool.
My question for you is, so when going into trying to befit a character's voice, that sometimes it's not necessarily a combination of trying to alter, or rather, okay, hang on, let me rephrase that. I'm trying to ask about what what's your technique for going into understanding a character's personality? Because that's kind of something I had to try and figure out myself when I was auditioning for Echoes of Eternity myself, and I wanted to get your perspective on that too after having done it during my audition.
That's a great question. I think there's kind of two. I mean, there's all different kinds of layers, but the two main layers is one, three layers. I really look at the description of the character, because that tells you everything that the client wants to tell you, or that the producers or the developers want to tell you. So the description that they send is gold. And then you'll see a lot also just in the description of the sides. Like it might be, he sneaks up behind, he sneaks up behind the octopus and says in a tiny voice, boo, or they might have a comparison to an actor or another character, like, oh, this is like Johnny Depp, or this is like Scarlett Johansson, or and if I don't know who that actor is that they're comparing it to, I know that they're not looking for a voice match, but they're looking for a feeling of that character. And if I don't know who they are, then I'll look them up, or I'll look them up in the project that was quoted, just to get a sense, like I'll YouTube them. And then I'll see, how they talk. How are they talking? What are they saying? What's their relationship to the other people in the scene? And I'll take all that. And so to this point, it's been a little bit intellectual, right? Then I'll take all that and I will find how I relate to it. Like if I was that person. And a huge thing for me is if they send a picture. That's my favorite thing. If for a video game or anime or animation, if they send a picture of the character, then I kind of imagine that's my body and what's it like to be inside that body. And I imagine, like, I look at that character and I think, like, what kind of voice would come out of that? Would it be kind of small and pinched? Or would it be rough, because she has a cigarette dangling out of the side of a lip, so those images, that's gonna make a difference. So I take all that and then I bring it inside myself and I get playful with it. And getting playful is the most important thing because it takes you out of your mental and into your imagination and into your child. And then you just start playing and see what works. It's kind of like having a blob of clay on a potter's wheel. You start forming it and then you don't like what it's looking, you mush it all up and you start again and you form it and then it starts to take form. And you start to refine it. But for me, it really, I have to find something inside me that's fun that I relate to. Like I just did the lady with a cigarette hanging out of her nose. Not a nose, a lip, And for some reason, that's just very vivid to me and it's fun to do. So I have to feel like it's fun to play with this. The little kid inside me wants to have a fun with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Or I guess even in the case of someone like Anna, the whimsical side, as you know, a merchant do. I get you.
Yes.
And then what about, if you could just humor me for one more bit, what about emotion-wise? Like, just for those that might be struggling to imagine or commit to that.
You have to look at the character's given circumstances. Are they, and who they are, like, are they, is my character a small little girl stuck in the woods with monsters? I mean, if I was a small little girl stuck in the woods with monsters, I might be scared. If I was a knight, a masculine knight in the woods with monsters and trying to protect that little girl, then I might be, strong and brave in the face of that. You have to kind of drop into their given circumstances and see who they are and what is at stake for them. If you're that knight and that little girl could possibly be killed by a monster, you have to be on your game. if you're a little girl and that monster is huge and it could stomp on you, then that's hugely at stake. So that's when you have to use your drop into your own heart and your own imagination, almost as an empath, like what would it feel like to be this monkey swinging from tree to tree and, being scooped up by a bulldozer's scoop that's suddenly deforesting the forest, Put yourself, it's a cliche, but put yourself in that character's shoes, put yourself in their heart, put yourself in their body. And like a child, imagine that you are them under the given circumstances. And I say to everybody when I coach, what is at stake? Does that make sense when I say what's at stake? You could die. You could not eat dinner for 3 nights. You could be rejected by, all the mean girls in school. Like, what is at stake? And relate to that. So those are some answers. They're not all the answers, but they're some of the answers.
Thank you so much, Karen. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Did anyone hear that? The audio that was just playing on my end? The music?
It's like it's playing through your headphones or through, from a distance.
Thought I had it.
Sorry.
Okay. It'll have to wait till next time. Karen, you've been wonderful. I don't want to hold you for longer. I know you have your production meeting. I really just want to thank you for joining us. If anyone has any questions about how to get involved with Karen more closely on a one-on-one basis or with your demo reel or at either of her 2 currently scheduled upcoming Samurai as a Sound workshops, send me a message. You can use the contact form on our website. It'll go straight to me. And some of you have my email. And we will get you set up with all of that. Let's all give a big thank you to Karen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sending you guys so much love.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sending you guys so much love and so much support in studying and making your dreams come true.
Will you be at Spooky Empire?
I will be at Spooky Empire in Florida this year,
wow.
from what I understand. I haven't signed the contract yet, but I've been asked to be there, so it should happen.
And I got my second Momo plushie as well.
Oh, that's a cool plushie.
Yeah, there's a lady that works on crochet in my area. She does them all handmade.
Wow. I wonder if she can make a killing with those.
Hey, guys, check this out.
Oh, it's a plushie convention now.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that these are called Digimon.
Yeah, I've heard of them. They've never seen the show or played the games.
No. I played Digimon games before, I also watched the Digimon when I was a kid.
We might want to.
Hey, you guys, I'm gonna jump off. Okay, sending you so
Karen.
much love. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a great one.
See you, Karen.
Sorry to
Alright.
interrupt. I just figured didn't want to keep her waiting for too long.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I was responding to one of the many messages I have coming in right now.
Sorry if I was holding her up or something.
Oh, I'm seeing people on the stream. They're like, the music played here. I know for a fact the music's going to the stream. Okay. Oh, well, I'll try to figure it out for next time. Let's see. Okay, so it is 6:05. We have until 7:30. We are, gosh, I feel like we just need a few more minutes to reflect on that. Any reflections on everything that just transpired?
Well, I guess from my own perspective, I do apologize if my question ended up taking a lot of time because, wow, I was not expecting her to give that much of an in-depth answer. But I also feel bad if that might have robbed anybody else's question time.
No, not at all. You asked really great questions, Stephen. We have a request for a recap. Victoria is requesting a recap, which I think is valid. We started with a round of introductions that was inevitably interrupted by the appearance of Karen Strassman. And she talked about her upcoming anime dubbing workshop. We are going to be using clips from Bleach to practice our anime dubbing skills with Karen. And if you would like a link to sign up for that, you can send me a message. Now, let's see. After that, we talked about Echoes of Eternity. So there's a lot to unpack there, but just the bullet points. First episode, first edition has been cast. You can still submit production audio for those characters as a Samurai as a Sound member, and we will include you in another edition of the episode. There is a, if you have been cast, I haven't mentioned this yet, just go ahead and review that audition submission portal again. You'll see probably some more details you didn't see before about when to get the VO, how to, like the, the logistics of submitting it and everything. So do review the audition portal. I'm hearing some extraneous audio here in the background. Who is that? Oh, that's Ivan. Okay. So where was I? Yes. Review the audition portal. You use the same portal that you used to audition, but there's a different setting you put it on. You'll see the drop-down menu. Okay. Make sure to join the Strawberry Hill Samurai as a Sound affiliate program. It's free to join. Anyone can join. But if you're casting an episode, you definitely should, because your network will want to support you directly for the work that you're doing. Right, so that is an opportunity for you to receive some of that support. That said, I have not shared this link, but you can actually start accessing some of those behind-the-scenes materials from Echoes of Eternity. If you are a member, you already have access to those materials, which is basically, at this point in time, the script, but it will soon be that teaser trailer with my musical score in it that everybody didn't hear, which is fine. Anyway, I'll send a link to access the first season of Echoes of Eternity. Echoes of Eternity Season 1 access. So this is, and I don't know how many of you have actually seen this page. Maybe I should actually pull it up on my screen and show you. But if you follow that link that I just put in the chat, you'll see where people go to, right at this point in time, pre-order the season. But they then will have access to the behind-the-scenes footage. So it's this page that you'll use your link for. So if you're an affiliate for Samurai as a Sound, you'll be sending out a link to this page, but it'll be your specific link. And people can pay $9.99 or more if they want to support you more, and 50% will go to you. We have a database where we can keep track of all those transactions. It's not like it gets direct deposited, but once you pass a certain threshold of $50, it's linked through PayPal. So you'll just set up your it's really easy to set up through our system. So it won't take long to get set up. Let's see, have I belabored that point enough? Like I said, I'll do a session with Karen that'll be in the behind-the-scenes stuff. The scripts are in there. If you want to start sharing the scripts with people, they can access them through that portal. Then what happened? Then we did the casting, which was really cool to see everyone's live reactions. That was just really heartwarming. We're definitely going to do this for all the episodes because it's just really, I'm just so excited to see how everyone, how this project develops more and more, right? So thank you for all of your participation. And we will be featuring, like I said, the video in our newsletter and some other places, so you can keep an eye out for that. Voices Rising May newsletter, especially. And then we did a Q&A with Karen Strassman. She talked about her role in all of this, and you guys all asked some amazing questions about the process of being a voice actor, which is just really an honor to be a part of and witness. So that's the recap, and that's where Victoria came on Wonderful. So we're back full circle. Any other questions from people who were announced in the casting that might have come up in the last few minutes?
So I have a question. Quick question.
So for people who were cast.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess I have a question, and I assume this will be made evident later. But so we are allowed to blast our casting on social media, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, you can. I recommend doing that in tandem with your unique affiliate link so that people can start supporting you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, definitely do that. If we need suggestions for like, don't be shy. Like, there's no right or wrong way to phrase it, but if you need suggestions on how to like resort like images or anything, let me know and I can provide those for you, like text, stuff like that, for like social media posts or email blasts or however you get your word out. But yes, yeah, you can spread the word. KJ, you've been very patient.
Yeah, kind of in disbelief still. Thank you, Austin. I know that the script's available. I'm just curious, is there anywhere like on the website that we can go just to get more detail about like deadlines and stuff like that?
Yes, the submission portal. It was the audition portal before. Now it's just the submission portal because it also includes the production audio. That has a pretty thorough breakdown on everything that we've talked about.
Okay.
So you can review that for either episode, and it has the same information on it. That also includes the scripts, the pronunciation guide, which will be important. I wasn't really paying that much attention to our pronunciation for the auditions because that would have just been an unnecessary barrier. But do review the pronunciation guide if you have any questions about how things are pronounced, because there's some fantasy vocabulary associated with the project. So I've tried to make it as simple as possible for people to read. The process to create all that language was not simple, but that's a story for another day. Everything has a pretty straightforward pronunciation. There's no curveballs. So once you learn how everything is notated, it's pretty easy.
Thank you. I'll set up my video appointment with you soon, Justin. I'll ask you some more questions.
Cool. Let's see. JC, you've had a question for a long time. I'm sorry that I cut you off. What is your question?
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. So like you said, if we're members of Strawberry Hill, does that mean we get a discount on some of the demo reels? And if we already had our first one, you said we get a 30% off of the demo reel, or?
That's right. Yeah. You'll get a 30% off if it's your second demo reel, which it is. So that applies to Karen Strassman's demo reel production package as well.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And just to be thorough, Samurai Sound members get a 20% discount on their demo reel package for their first demo reels. And anyone can produce a demo reel with us, including the Karen Strassman package, at full price if they're not members. If you're a black belt member, it is the industry standard demo reel production package, which is what we're now calling the same package we had before, just to differentiate it from Karen's, is included in your membership, and we can just subtract the difference out if you want to do Karen's.
Yeah, that sounds good right there. I'm more than happy to. And definitely it would help, so that way it's like, you would get a seal of approval right there. So that way it gives you a better chance to link up with other people right there. And personally, I've been wanting to do this for a long time as well.
Wonderful. That's really great to hear.
And what if we have script ideas as well? Like, sort of like how you have a script idea. What if we wanted to present some script ideas as well? Like, see if what works, what doesn't work, and let's see where it goes from there.
Absolutely. Just like the process for our previous demo reel, JC, I know that you had a lot of input for the references, and I had a lot of fun creating scripts based off of that. If you have like ideas about characters, but you don't have scripts, you're like, I know I have a good voice. It sounds like this guy. Yes, of course, we can. I'll write a script based around that, not using the intellectual property, but keeping it just generic enough to where it is your unique expression, right? So we will write the scripts. We don't have to write the scripts. Some people come to us and they're like, yeah, I have these scripts that I've done in the past. Maybe I just want to tweak them so that they're framed correctly for the demo reel. or I just have these scripts, but I haven't been able to record them, or I don't know where to start with them, but I want to do them. Yeah, you can have scripts already. That's totally fine. So hopefully that that answers your question.
Yeah, and then because I am working on a script for a fan project, if I could talk to you more about it later.
Yeah, that can definitely be fertile ground for scripts. Victoria asks about my socials. Gosh, I'll be honest. Well, I'm on IMDb as well, which is not a social network, but for some of my work on Tower of God and our Big Punjabi Family. So if you wanted to share that, you could. But Samurai as a Sound is my social media. So that's kind of where I pour my creative energy into. So of course, Strawberry Hill Studio as well, which is closely related. But yeah, IMDb. I wish I could be more helpful than that. I don't have my own personal social media really. But thank you for asking. Was that helpful at all? I don't even know.
I think it was. I mean, you certainly helped me remind me that you helped with Tower of God, which, funnily enough, I not too long ago finished season 1 of.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah. I did the background vocals for one of the tracks on season 2. That was in a few of the episodes. Question from Laura Welsh: is your book published under your name? My book, that was a very slight inaccuracy on Karen's part. It's actually our interactive guide that we have published through our Samurai as a Sound platform. It's called Hosting the Game, and it features a foreword written by Karen Strassman. We went through different permutations as to what that guide would look like, and one of our early ideas was a book, but we settled on this interactive guide, and it's basically if you've been thinking about hosting a role-playing game, a role-playing event, it's basically a step-by-step demystification of that process, and I'll post a link to it. Hosting the game. Yeah, and it's there's a 30% discount on that guide through our Samurai as a Sound membership, if you're interested. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that kind of is a good segue into another reason why we are gathered here this evening. Let me very quickly check our stream chat here. Okay. All right, so we have basically an hour, which is not a lot of time to roleplay. I kind of figured that would be
Speed run.
Yeah, we basically need to do a speed run, which is entirely possible with Voices and Choices. So with that said, Chris is our go-to guy for the session recaps. No good deed goes unpunished.
Stop taking such good notes.
I got it. Let me bring him up. So last session was session 6. We found our heroes in the town of Sablewood under occupation from New Sternium guards, and backstory aside, basically there is a godlike snake that may or may not attack Sablewood. New Sternium is the party is from the Order of Echoes, and they are working with the New Sternium guards to provide protection and possibly even hunt down this giant snake. We received a map that pointed us into that pointed us into the Whispering Grove forest, where we might find some clues, especially because there was a giant howl that we heard and wanted to go investigate. As we did, we found a werewolf tied up to a tree with a Sablewood guard. We had encountered these individuals before, but now we're here to resolve that issue. We essentially cured the man of his lycanthropy. They went back to Sablewood. We made camp. We exchanged stories and backstories. I guess one of the key components of that is my character Resonetta is very much adamant about finding this snake god named Silserpo. That's what we are journeying to resolve. And from there, I think that's where we ended off. I think we broke camp, and we are still walking through the forest. I'm not sure.
I believe we left off. We were still at camp.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's say that a whole day passed and a whole night passed, for simplicity. And before I launch into this segment, I just want to have confirmation that Vinny is. I know Vinny's here. Vinny, are you there? Can you say some words for us? Are you present here for the?
Yes, I'm here. I can say a few words.
Wonderful. Okay.
In your Sean Connery accent.
Yes, I can say a few words in my Sean
Now we're
Connery.
here. Now we're in character.
Yes. Did I ever tell you the tale of the merfolk?
We heard the tale.
Oh,
Yes.
right. Just
Incessantly.
wanted to say.
So Sean, your character's name. Sean, you
Ron.
have been busy.
Yeah. Yes,
You have
Sean
been,
Ronnery.
Sean Ronnery has been a busy man in the night. You stole away while everyone else was sleeping back to the town of Sablewood and snuck into a library of sorts. So there's like a temple that has a little library in it, and procured a dangerous arcane tome on the specifics of which I will leave for you to explain. And you have now just gotten back to camp as the sun begins to come up, and everyone is yawning and stretching and stepping outside their tents. And you are just exhausted after having trekked through the forest, and you are holding this tome.
Good morrow, everyone. Yes, I have returned, in case you were worried about me.
I didn't think anybody else got up as early as I did. Good to see you.
Well, when you get as old as me, you tend to forget to sleep.
Oh, my granny has to get up to go use the privy on occasion. Is that what happened?
I mean, it was on the docket, for sure. But, I had to acquire a special, totem item, as it were.
What now?
So, earlier I was curious about the werewolves. I wanted to learn more. And so I decided to just go for a walk, and I found a library with a very specific tome about werewolves and lycanthropy.
Wow.
I think it'd be helpful on our mission.
I feel
You
painted
said a
on the
bunch of
wall.
words.
Because I literally am I'm a fiend hunter.
That's very good for you, son, but we can't all read your mind. We have
Well-
to have our own ways of figuring things out, and, you know, if you only take information from one source, it's bound to dry up. It's
Bound
best to, yeah. You know, if you only read from one book, you can only get so much information. So you have to spread yourself out.
Let us see. How do I say this? There is a bunch of accounts from people who trust either vampires and werewolves at night. Their men, their women, and children get eaten up, and their livestock. So, feel free to end up like they do if you don't believe myself.
I'm gonna go have some tea. You guys have a good conversation.
Yes, very.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna do some training. Train hard.
Let's see. So, gather my notes here for a minute. Laura, remind me of your character's name one more time.
Cree.
Cree, that's right.
Cree Crabapple.
Cree Crabapple. Right.
Oh,
As you walk over towards the campfire, you see the farmer, whose name is also escaping me at the moment, and he's kind of hovered over this campfire, and he's making scrambled eggs for everybody, and he's got this tea kettle that is just starting to boil, and he kind of pours you a cup hastily and says, good morning. Are you ready for the adventure ahead?
Oh, well, we just keep going north, I guess, last I heard, and we got some ferries to catch up with, and I'm just hoping Resonetta doesn't have a flower just explode out of her chest any minute now. So, yeah, ready.
Again.
And as you all finish up your breakfast, let's say that it's time to go, and you step deeper into this forest, northward, as Kree mentioned. And as you do so, the light changes. Where before sunlight was just starting to poke out above the horizon, now these sunbeams are fractured through this dense canopy of these enormous leaves of the forest, and they're casting the shifting green and gold pattern on the ground. And the air is thick with the scent of blooming wildflowers and mossy bark. The hum of unseen insects is buzzing at your ears, and soft laughter seems to echo between the trees, though no one is visible. And as you push past this thicket, vines suddenly snap around your ankles, and arrows of glowing thorn land at your feet. And from above and behind, small winged figures in natural armor descend with weapons raised. Two of the scouts are hovering closest. One is lithe and stern with a beetle carapace pauldron, which is a piece of armor, and a dragonfly mount. He's riding on a dragonfly. The other is broader, bark-skinned, with splinters growing from his shoulders and a glare fixed firmly on you. They are clearly here to detain or deter you, and they're not asking especially nicely. The one on the left says, "You tread sacred paths without leave. Tell me, intruders, are you brave or merely lost?"
Bit of column A, bit of column B. I
Who's
am
this?
way too sober for this. What is the meaning of this interaction you wish to have with us?
It's you who should be answering, and you should answer fast as to why you're here. This forest listens and it grows hungry for liars. Tell us why you have tread into fairy territory.
We're just trying to find our way through, and besides, the sunlight's already killing my skin. I need a bigger hat.
Resonetta will kind of.
Yeah, me too.
Keep her hands up.
Dang it! I get tired of that sun burning me.
Resonetta lifts her hands up.
Yeah, Resonetta will slowly lift her hands up to show that nothing is there, and she will say, "We are merely pursuing, possibly. We are pursuing my fallen god. We do not mean any intrusion or disrespect upon you and your land. We simply ask for safe passage."
All right, make a charisma check.
Glad it's you and not me.
Well, it's not exactly her strong suit. I believe, given the progression, I think I can make this just with regular D20.
Yeah. And anyone who does not have a character already is free to chime in with a character that you may or may not come up with on the spot. We
Join
can
the fun.
We can work on this. We can work out the stats kind of as we go. It's quite simple.
So on my D20, I rolled a 15.
Yes. Okay, and that is going to beat our par, as it were, of 13. Small change from last session, where it was 10, but we were passing literally everything.
Can you hurry up? Vampires like me don't last in sunlight.
All right, guys. I rolled 19.
All right, and I'll just take the numbers from the people who I ask. If I don't ask you, then just assume that whatever you're saying is totally fair game. So the scout who was on the left, who was speaking with you before Resonetta, says, "Very well, but we are going to need to blindfold all of you if you're going to proceed any further into our territory. Will you accept
is that
these
what you need to
terms?"
do? You wish to blindfold me?
I assume this is to protect any sort of fairy lands to deter other intruders.
This better not be no sick fetish.
You know, they are pointing rather sharp objects at us. Maybe we shouldn't be so gallivant with them at the moment.
Yeah, we gotta do what everybody does wherever they live, you know, that cliche that everyone says, when in Romani, what is it? Yeah.
When at home, do as the homans do.
Yeah.
Whatever gets the sunlight out of my face. I need a bigger hat.
They with that they place their these blindfolds of leaf over you and begin sort of ushering you quite calmly given the circumstances further into this thick grove. And
Before I have to retcon, I have a question.
Yes.
My special skill, my magic skill has to do with resonation. Can I just basically be clicking the trigger on my guns and basically do echolocation this entire time so that I have a map while we're going?
I love that. What skill would that be for you?
What is magic? Magic is perception, right?
It can be perception. It's usually either perception or charisma. It's
okay.
Whichever
Well, it's definitely not charisma for me. So.
Yeah, not for Kari.
I absolutely love how that's such a beautiful moment. I love that for you, that you thought of that.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Because I always forget how like open D&D is until people do stuff like that.
Okay, so I'm just rolling my base die because I don't have any plus or minuses, so that's just the D6, I guess.
Yeah, and since it's magic, you're gonna have a D4 disadvantage.
Right. Gotta open up that other app for that. Sorry, I didn't have that prepped. And a D6 and a D4. And we're good. And roll. So D4 is 2.
Okay.
Oh, DM, how? Quick question: how sensitive is their hearing? The Fae.
Extremely attuned. They are beings of the forest, and they could probably tell where you are just by your footfalls if their eyes were closed.
Okay. So D6 was a 6.
Okay. And what was the D20 roll?
Oh, I thought we were doing just D4.
Oh no! So whenever you're making a skill attempt, you're always going to roll a D20, and then if you have a skill die because you've upgraded that skill or because you started it as your good skill, you can roll that in addition. So if you have a D6 as your perception, that probably means you started as perception.
It was just one of the ones I didn't try to boost at all.
Oh, so you haven't boosted it?
No, I haven't boosted
Oh, so you don't have a die for it then?
Okay, this is new. We're doing things differently.
Yeah. Okay, just to review. Sorry, I feel like I need to review because the mechanics have changed quite a bit. Not since last time, but the time before that they changed quite a bit. So there's 4 skills, and this is for newcomers as well: strength, dexterity, perception, charisma. Strength is just like you would think. Dexterity includes ranged attacks, sneaking, picking locks, anything that has fine motor control or speed. Perception is basically like your intelligence, your gauge of what's going on with your senses around you, oftentimes magic. And charisma is the force of your personality, performances, deceptions, persuasions, sussing someone out. Now, to build a character, you start with a bad skill and you start with a good skill. Your bad skill is going to have a D4 that counts against you every time you roll, and a skill attempt. The skill attempt is always a D20. Bad skill is going to have that D4 that counts against you. Your neutral skills don't use any die starting out. Your good skill uses a D6 that counts for you. And then every other session, you level up, kind of, you can call it that. But basically, you're just upgrading one of your die. So if you pick your good skill, that D6 turns into a D8. If you pick a neutral skill, that lack of a die turns into a D4. And if you choose your bad skill to upgrade, that negates your D4 and you're back to neutral for that skill.
meth. So since it's just one of my basic skills, I'm just rolling the d20 and then the d4 for the magic challenging.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. D20 is a 14. And I think
Okay.
I said 2 was for the magic last time.
Yes, you did. Yeah, that's a 2.
Oy. I made this complicated on a speed run. Sorry.
Okay, so that's okay. And our par is 13. So as you're sort of clicking the trigger, one of the elves that was talking, the one that was talking to you before, kind of stops in his tracks at the head of the line, and he says, "I hear something." And he turns around and he kind of walks down the ranks of each one of you, kind of sussing you out, and then he stops at you, Kree, although you can't see him. You can hear the footfalls stopping, and he reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, and he says, "What are you doing?"
Oh, I just have a nervous fidget.
It's true. I couldn't get any sleep last night. She kept clicking on and off, on and off. It was mind-numbing.
You know, to think out of all the things they could trap us in, they could have given her rope to shut her up.
Oh, sweet.
One of the
Roderick has slept so soundly that he's still asleep. Kind of in a pile of leaves. The dwarf.
God, we adore you.
Did he manage to evade the guards who were blindfolding everybody? Why is he in a pile of leaves?
Camouflaged?
That's up to you. You're the DM. I didn't make a stealth roll. I'm just sleeping.
One of the elves turns, the ones who sort of accosted you, Kree, turns to one of his, after hearing Sean Ronnery's comment, looks to one of his compatriots and says, "Well, the lack of sleep would account for
malnutrition and performance."
Sure. He says, and then they just basically reach for your gun, Kree, and try to wrest it from your grasp. And as they do so, how would you react to that?
That's not happening. I can just stop. I will fidget with something else. That is my granddaddy's gun. You do not get to touch it.
Young lady,
If you do
you're
not
dealing with the
unhand,
Fae.
if you do not unhand your firearm, we are going to have a serious problem. Will you trust it with us? We will give it to you as you leave our territory.
I will do it in exchange for a favor.
Kind of looks back at his compatriot. What did you have in mind?
Well, that's to be determined.
I wouldn't make a deal with the Fae if I were you.
We understand the bond of a soldier to their weapon, especially that being passed down through the family. And very well, we will give you a favor, but you must give us the gun.
I'm going to be respectful and admit that I have two, so you can take both of them for the one favor. Here.
Darn
I
it,
just
you had
like
to snitch on
I
yourself.
just like reach in front of me and kind of like flail because I have no idea where this dude is.
He had his arm on your shoulder.
Oh, so I generally put him in his possible face because I don't know how tall this person is.
He's quite tall. He's a fairy, so he's actually not that much taller than you.
Oh, great.
And
Short king.
we'll say he's just a couple of inches taller. And for those who don't know, Kree is a halfling, and he manages to grab both of the guns and tucks them in a small leather satchel, although you don't see that. And
Not at all.
And he says, "All right, well, let's continue our march. We're almost there." And as you do so, you are led into this clearing, and you're surrounded by, of course, you don't see this, but at this point in time, they're going to take all of your blindfolds off. They decided you've progressed far enough into the forest. And you can see that you have been led into this clearing surrounded by smooth, towering stones etched with these spiraling runes. Moonlight spills through the trees, bathing the area in this silver glow, and a low mist is clinging to the mossy ground. The air is unnaturally still. No wind, no bird song. As you cross the threshold into this clearing, a weight settles on your shoulders like unseen eyes pressing in from all sides. The clearing feels sacred and like it's watching. Floating at the center is this serene, elderly fairy, cloaked in layered petals and shimmering silk, and her eyes are blindfolded, like yours were. And her voice is just sort of like ringing out like these wind chimes. And as she gestures, the mist around you begins to take shape. And basically you see these forms from your memories, your past, regret, shame, maybe fear. And each of these feelings takes shape in the mist and rises to face you as if in silent accusation. And this elderly fairy who's sitting in the middle of the clearing, sort of like floating around this mist, she says, "If it's the Verdant Throne you want, it does not carry the unproven."
What do you know about me, lady?
And she gestures sort of up, and you can see through the clearing this enormous tree that is rising in the distance. And atop it is this giant nest that has been interwoven through the branches of the tree. And this tree is rising, is just massive compared to the other trees of the forest. She says, "The Verdant Throne does not carry the unproven. What you leave behind, you can carry no further. Face it, or turn back." And as she says those words, what might one of your characters see in the mist, a form from your memory?
Resonetta, at this point, will fall to one knee, bowing her head very reverently to the old fairy. But then as the mist swirls in front of her, she looks up and she sees a male elf about Resonetta's height, and a female elf a bit shorter, what can be presumed as a child. There are other sort of figures around her, but they don't have any faces. And as Resonetta looks up and she sees these two faces, she says, "I have already once lost my family. I thought their memory be lost to time. Now that I have reclaimed them, you would ask me to leave them behind once more." She hangs her head again, and her shoulders start to tremble a bit. I can't. I don't want to lose their memory again, but I must stop Silserpo. You ask an impossible choice, Elder One.
The elder fairy begins to flap its wings and kind of rises into the air and hovers in front of you, Resonetta, and she says, "Us fairy folk are unbound by the gravity of this world, and so is the one who we serve and who you seek. If you carry this, if you harbor this regret, this fear of the past, the mist may not be so kind to you."
Well, since you already took off your strain, might as well take mine. Verhelius reveals his insanity issues. Verhelius reveals in the mist why he's a monster hunter or a fiend hunter. He was pledged to be married to one of the duchesses of Wallachia, but was killed during the day of an executioning of Count Orlok. And Count Orlok basically being the counterpart to Dracula, obviously taking his bride away and his unborn child, leaving him insane to the point where he constantly goes village to village hunting down fiends, monsters, regardless of the cost, or regardless of the cost of life right there. And doing this for about 150 years, he would not stop until he finds Count Orlok and kills him where he stands for ruining the most important day of his life.
So you can see some of these images of your victims kind of manifesting in the mist around the party and the clearing. And the elder fairy looks back at you and she says, "This is a very strong attachment indeed. If you cannot demonstrate that you are willing to set it aside, I cannot allow you to see the great bird."
I hunt monsters for a living. I do this so no one shall suffer the same fate as I did. I don't do this because I take pleasure. I do not do this because I like it. I do this so no one has to relive the same memory as I did before. I lost everything that day to Orlok. I lost everything that day, and I died that day, being reborn as a new creature of the night to hunt these monsters, so no one has to deal with the pain that I have to.
I can see that your cause is just. Very well, there may be another way to prove yourself. And she looks back at one of the guards who is posted at the other end of the clearing and kind of gives this nodding glance. And then she looks back at you. She says, "In combat." And she ushers
Enjoy.
you.
Nice.
And the rest of the party, we'll assume, kind of follows along. And you emerge on this raised platform of woven roots and bark, suspended high above the forest floor. And the arena is circular, and it's rimmed by these thorny growths and these glowing blossoms that are just pulsing with anticipation. And above, you can see that sun that's kind of shining out above this, now that you're above the mist. And dozens of these tiny, I say tiny, but they're about hobbit-sized fairy figures are clad in iridescent armor, and they're watching silently from the surrounding perches. And they all have their weapons at the ready. And at the center of this arena stands a broad-shouldered, wingless fairy. You're on this, big wooden arena. And he's got these jagged scars across his arms, and his armor is made out of bark and bone. And on either side of him, two identical fairies are slender and sharp-eyed, and they seem to be quick like hummingbirds. And they're just starting to circle around you guys like predators.
Oh, wait, we're all in this fight? Ah, JC.
Sorry,
this is
little
the
one.
last time I let you speak for the team. Ever again, Vampy. You're gonna go in a corner where you belong.
I'm sorry, old man.
Oh,
you
you're
wouldn't take my
sorry
advice.
now. You're sorry.
You wouldn't take my advice on the
As soon as
wolves.
you're done with this, I swear to the gods.
I'm sorry, old man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone's sorry until I have to take care of everything.
Yes,
Does anyone have-
yes, my lord.
Focus up.
God. Does
There's more
anyone
important things at hand.
Okay, let's figure this out. Okay, so
And
they're
the
all
big-
wearing bark, right? What burns? Wood. Does anyone have any fire that we can use right now?
I
cast
do.
fireball.
I do.
I got fire.
We do.
I do. I got fire.
Then choke them. Let's go.
Whoa, we are on a wooden platform suspended in the air, y'all.
Yeah, we are
Fire
on wood.
bad.
I haven't heard that
I
yet.
stole
Yes.
some
What if
hellfire.
it burns? What if it burns from under our feet?
We'll deal with it.
And
when
we
it
have no
happens.
water
Oh,
to douse the flames. I
I'm
have
not
no water to
concerned
go
about
down the
fires.
flames.
I'm
No
not concerned
water.
about fires. I'm concerned about blood. I don't
Okay.
need to rely on water like you guys.
Plant lady, can you throw some vines on the fast ones and hold them down while we take out the big one?
Yes,
I
sir.
could do a thorn whip.
I can
Yes.
do
You're
that
talking
too.
about.
All
Then
right.
fire.
I could do a
Larissa.
I could do a water pulse.
Several at the same time, but I could try.
All right, go ahead and Larissa, roll your whatever you use for your spell casting if you are summoning this thorn whip. Probably perception, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the skill die that is accompanied by your perception?
Oh my god, where are my notes?
Possible that I
I
could.
think it's a 6.
Okay, so yeah, it's a D6. Okay, so roll a D20 and a D6, and then
All right. Oh heck. Well, okay, that's a 19 on the 20, and that's a 5 on the 6.
and then roll a D4 to count against you because it's magic.
That is a 1.
Okay, you're in great shape. So
Been
what is
waiting
it?
to cast Thorn Whip.
What does it look like as you gear up to cast this spell, and how does it unfold on the up to 3 targets that you stand before you?
Since I'm going for 3 targets, I'm going to have to go for both hands. And so what I'm going to try to do is go for a 1, 2, 3, fast as I can before they have time to react. And it just looks like short-handled whip, but instead of being leather strap, it's thorn canes.
Okay, so these all erupt from where you're standing.
From my hands.
From your hands, excuse me. And entangle around the targets. And one of them on the left-hand side is just basically constricted to the point of not being able to move. And
Nice Penelope.
And so one of the fairies from your left that's just been sort of watching the proceedings says, "Can't you see he can't move anymore? Release him."
Release him?
Sorry, I don't have a spell for that.
You wish us to release him? He was armed to the teeth to take us out.
Yes, and you've beat him. Show mercy.
I stare down the blind lady and ask her,
What is it you want from us? Do you wish for us to fight to the death, or to prove that we are of good heart and wills? To do what must be done? Answer me!
We do not kill unnecessarily. It is clear that this fairy has been beaten.
And
Then
I thought the
remove her
Dark
from the-
Elves gave me a hard time.
All right, folks, we have 2 more to take down. We have the big one and we have another little one. Does anyone have any skills that would be helpful at this moment?
I have hellfire spells.
We said no fire. Everything wood.
All
No
right,
good.
Ivan, what is your character? How would they react in this situation?
Okay. So, I'm trying to think. Johnny Maxwell, and then so Johnny Maxwell uses Fist of Fury.
Okay, great. So that's going to be a strength check. So you're going to roll your D20, and I'm assuming Johnny Maxwell's good skill is strength. So it's going to be a D20 and a D6.
All right, guys. I rolled 18.
On your D20?
Oh, D20?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a D20. Okay. And you don't need to really roll your D6 because there's no way you can fail. So what does it look like as Johnny Maxwell approaches the, let's say, the fairy on the right that has just, unstuck themselves from this massive thorny vines and has, approached you with, their sword in hand and they're beginning to swing at you? What would you do?
We're talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna dodge the attack.
Yep. And then how do you take them out?
With my Fist of Fury.
Wonderful. A flurry of punches, and the fairy is down for the count. Now,
Which one was that?
That was the one on the right. He was also quite
Okay, not the big
slender.
scarred guy. Got it.
The big scarred guy who has wrestled himself free of the thorns and has also taken his compatriot who had been constricted and ripped them out of the vines and just kind of carried them over to the side of the arena and laid them down to rest. Has now turned his attention back to you and runs towards you. He's carrying this huge sword, and he basically runs toward Sean Ronnery. And Sean, how would your character react to this?
Well, first he would just wait, hand on his hilt. He has a long sword and he's got a dagger right next to his right hand. And he waits until it comes at the last minute. And with an underhanded throw of his right hand with the dagger, throws it right at his center mass.
Dang.
I can also assist if you need it, by the way, on this one.
Look, I don't trust Faye at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know I was going to ask the DM, in this universe, is iron the weakness of the Fae?
Oh, good
or
question.
are we not doing that? Because I was going to ask about the guns. Like, what are the guns made of? Because they wouldn't touch it if it was iron, and in this universe, they were, highly allergic to it. That's what I was curious about.
Oh.
Anyway. I'm a bit of a nerd. Don't mind me.
So what is your character's strong skill?
My strong skill is charisma because I'm old.
Okay, so let's have you make
That checks out.
Or you.
Let's have you make a charisma check on this fairy as it's running towards you, and you're kind of figuring out, based on how it's looking at your dagger, which you've made an effort to conceal, but is it wary in a special sort of way? Also, you're calling back on the interaction that we had before with the guns to sort of figure out if there was any sort of notes of this is really not good kind of feelings.
Yeah, I'm just staring. I treat him like a young man, just like rushing in without any thought. I'm just methodically watching his movements to learn his patterns.
Okay, so go ahead and make your charisma roll.
I roll a 20, right? Not
A
critical
D20,
20?
and then because charisma is your good skill, you're also going to roll a D6.
Got it. Thank you. That's a 17.
You don't need me.
And then look, I'll never need help. Then
The power of old men.
Well, wisdom kills.
D6. Oh, shit,
I
that's a
forgot
6.
that one.
Good job.
I'm really fucking lucky today.
We're rolling well. Okay, indeed.
Rolling like Master Roshi.
Part of the reason why, and you detect this as you reflect on the interaction, that the fairies were the Fae were being so cautious about Kree's weapons is that they have this extreme weakness to the iron of the weapons of men, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so as he's approaching you with his sword, which is not made of iron, it's glass, and takes a swing at you, you unleash your throwing dagger.
Underhanded throw from the hip. The hilt is iron, but the blade is steel.
Okay. Well, it embeds up to the hilt in his side, and he instantly just falls.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Take care, EJ. Falls over onto the ground, and is just gasping in agony, essentially. And
walk
you can
up
see
to
that some
him.
smoke is starting to emanate from the wound.
I walk up to him and I whisper in his ear.
That's what I call smoking him.
It pays to know the name of the game, son.
And I slowly twisting the knife out of him to let him know that I may be old, but I know what I'm doing. And I
That's
clean the
more than
blade
I
on my
can
leg
say.
Aww.
and put it back in. And I let stare down the big boy. And I ask him,
So, big boy, would you like a new scar? Where and when would you like it?
This guy knows something about scars.
Please show mercy.
Mercy? I don't know that number. Can you sing it for me?
Not at the moment. I'm finding myself short of breath. Perhaps your compatriot behind you might have a different idea. And he looks towards Jerry Oldman, who has just entered the fray. And what does he see as he does so? He's laying on the ground sideways, but what does he see?
What do I see?
What does our victim see as he looks at you? What does your character look like?
Oh, he sees an old man, similar to Sean Ronnery. Maybe with a very thick beard. It's a long white one. You can tell I've been around for a long time. But he's got a large staff and a pointy hat with gray robes.
Tell me, kind wizard, will you help me?
Kind wizard? I've been called that in a very long time. You're out of luck, Sonny.
He just has this horrified look on his face.
Oh, but I might be able to give you something for the pain. It'll go away.
Anything will help at this point. I'm grasping at straws here.
Well, I got this deadly nightshade.
Oh my god.
Can't take too much of it, though. It makes your brain go numb. I would know.
That needs to be on a t-shirt. It'll make your brain go numb.
I do not think we need to torment these fairies any more than necessary.
We were
They've already tormented us with our time, so I think this is well deserved.
We are in their lands. We will respect their customs. We have cleared the trial. That is enough.
Here,
Miss Larissa, can you help this dude out so he don't die and bleed out on us?
Me?
No, Miss Larissa. Oh, well, Miss Penelope. Sorry.
All right. Yes, I can do that. I can run some healing on him so that we can repair some of the damage.
Thank God we have one healer. Rest of us are meatheads.
Oh, wait. I remembered. That's an old spell I haven't used in a while. What is he, bleeding?
Oh, he is screwed. I got a 4 on the 20 and a 4.
Well, hold on. After digging
My
my
road
memory, I
would
might
fall on
be able to recall that healing spell.
We're doing well.
Unfortunately, in as you kneel down, so what would your healing look like as you approach this wound of iron that's kind of
the heal wounds cantrip, generally you kneel down next to the patient and like put your hands on them and speak the spell, and healing sort of infuses them, and usually they wake up and go, what is this? Oh my god.
Well, as you do, as you attempt to do so, you realize that this iron has gotten under the skin of this man, and he looks up at you and he says, "It's too late for me. You fought well.
I'm sorry you had to end this way, son.
I respect the fight, and
there is a way to save him, but you may not like it."
Don't tell me you're going to turn him into vampire.
Vampire Faye?
Is that your
That's
answer for
something.
everything, Vampy?
Well, you didn't want him to die.
I mean, that's his choice.
Or I can make his death quick and painless.
The fairy
I can help with the painless part.
Is basically just looking at you with extreme concern, JC, and it is basically like, "No, please, this is my natural lifespan.
This is the way.
This is the way."
Oh.
And then sort of just dies, essentially.
Wow.
There he goes.
Our first
Sorry about
legit death this run. We murdered someone, y'all.
It was self-defense.
Self-defense is not murder.
The elder fairy
just
descends
didn't
onto
help
the
him.
center of the arena, and she says, "You fought well. You fought valiantly. Sometimes accidents happen. He knew the risks, and well."
What was his name so I can remember him when I go by the next gravesite?
Skirvin was his name.
Okay.
Skirvin? I had that once.
Too
Is
soon,
everything
my
a
friend.
drink to you?
Too soon.
No, that was a bad disease. Not a drink. Wouldn't recommend it.
He was brave.
Yeah,
I'm
that'd
gonna
be a
put
great
some
name for
pretty
a drink
flowers
with lots of
down.
lemon juice in it.
Old woman, have we proven ourselves enough for you, or do you have more fae for us to take down?
If you will do so in peace, we will keep our word and show you to the Verdant throne.
Your Grace, we thank you.
Much
And
appreciated.
And your grace, with all due respect, never talk about my past with me again.
We just murdered one of her own. She is older than dirt. We don't need to press this, okay? Let's move on.
I may not look like it, but I am literally 150 years old. I may not look like it to you guys, and I literally got to relive some memories that I don't want to relive again. So it's fair right there.
And with that, you're led down from the platform back to the forest floor, and ushered through an ever-thickening forest of trees, and eventually, at long last, you ascend this spiraling path along this enormous tree. And what happens is you're taken inside this hollow at the base of the tree. And so this spiral path that's going up is actually on the interior of the tree. You're inside, and the walls are just alive with this pulsing amber light and the slow creak of the growing wood that surrounds you. And you can smell flowering sap and damp earth, and your footsteps are beginning to echo softly. Branches are twisting into the walkways even though you're on the inside, and these woven bridges that reach toward this massive chamber high up in the canopy of the tree as you sort of get out of where the trunk is and into the canopy. At the center is this hollowed amphitheater that's open to the stars. It's taken all day to travel, and you're quite tired, and you're a bit surprised to see the stars when you get to the top. And these thrones that are carved from living bark, and they're ringed in these feathering vines. And there's 3 figures sitting on the thrones under the stars. There is a regal, blindfolded fairy in robes of crimson petals, and she's sitting the tallest, and she's in the middle, and she's unmoving. And to her right, there's a quiet warrior, carved from as if carved from pale wood, and he's kind of standing very still like a statue. And to her left is this younger fairy, and her eyes are glowing with amber light as she watches you with eager intensity. And she says, she looks at you and she says, "We are the Silver Council. You climbed the verdant throne to ask of the sky, but tell me, wanderers, what will you give in return?"
I approach the Fae on bended knee and not meeting their gaze, because if they look into your soul, to your eyes, you're pretty much theirs. And I humbly request,
what is it that you would exchange for information? We are merely humble travelers trying to save this land. We mean no harm. We only wish to complete our mission.
What danger chases you to our route? Says the one in the middle who had been unmoving up until this point.
I wish not to speak for the group, for I am the newest.
Resonetta will join Sean, kneeling in front of the thrones, and she says, "Honored fairy elders, we have received word that one of your charges, Silserpo, thought to have succumbed to a horrible corruption, may in fact wander the land still. You may or may not know of me and my kin, but we worship Silserpo in the Silver Forest. We knew not of your presence, but we treated Silserpo as a god. We sacrificed to it, we worshipped it. But soon enough, our forest died. We thought Silserpo shared its fate, but one of your messengers approached us and said, 'It is possible Silserpo may be alive.'" And she opens her clothes around her chest to reveal the black lily that's been blooming there. And she says, "I would confront Silserpo one last time to not only put an end to the corruption that torments its soul, but to put an end to my suffering as well.
I bow down as well. You know, lady, you might have been a pain in my ass at first, but that's truly inspiring me. You come out clean, I'll come clean. I only joined you guys because I thought I would find Orlok again. The man who killed my bride and my unborn child. I thought hunting with you guys would help me find these fiends who cause suffering throughout the land. But now, I realize your cause is no different than mine. You guys might be a pain in my ass, but I would rather have you guys around.
The elderly fairy from before, who has been following with you, places a hand on your shoulder. JC's character says Aurelius and says, Verhelius. I'm glad that you have learned to set your concern aside for the greater good. And then she looks and gives a meaningful look up to the younger fairy on the left, who's not wearing a blindfold. And then the fairy in the middle, who still has her blindfold on.
That's the warrior one, right?
No, the warrior was to the right. This one is very tall fairy, much taller than the others. And she's never turned her head away from the direction of Resonetta. And she says, I sense a connection between you and the great snake, forged in your flesh itself. You must prove to me your allegiance, or I cannot help you.
I step forward after like gawking at the night sky for like the past however long everybody else has been serious, and realize everyone else is kneeling, so I just quickly kneel and I go,
So, do you need one of us to like swear allegiance to your god or something?
What I am talking about goes further than words.
I dare not stare at her in the eye, but I humbly utter to her,
If you wish for me to pledge my soul to you, in order for my compadres to move forward, I will, on one condition, that you allow me to experience someone I've lost long ago once more. You will have my sword, my dagger, and you will have my soul. But for one fleeting moment, let me have my sherry back.
She turns to Resonetta after hearing, Sean, your words, and she says, then this is your moment. Will you share the burden of the flower?
If you are true as the tales say of the Fae, I will gladly share any burden for one last moment with my sherry.
Resonetta will turn to Sean. She'll sort of cup the flower at her chest and she says, I am afraid of what this may symbolize for you. It is clear you have not long in this world, but I would not want to take any more time than necessary from you. I have carried this, she gestures to the flower, for over 500 years.
as she says these words, I reach into my cloak and I pull out a silver locket.
and I say, I have carried this burden on my chest since the day I could walk. I know what it's like. I will share my burden with you, as you share your burden with me. I'd rather live a life of quality than quantity. And I hand over my locket to her as a symbol of I accept this responsibility.
Resonetta will hold it in her hand, gently grasp it, and then places her hand on your chest. And as she does so, thick black lines begin to trail from the flower on her chest, down her arm, through her fingertips, into your chest, and into your skin. There's a slight tugging, and when she pulls her hand away, there's a small black lily growing from your chest. Notably, her lily is a bit smaller, but it's still there.
I gently touch it to make sure this is actually real and not just a hallucination. I am
Now,
grateful that you share this with me.
I would also like to give you something, old man, for I respect you. This is a candle holder. It was from my wedding. I would like you to give it to a lady named Constantina, if you can do that for me, if the time comes.
Who are you giving it to?
Constantina.
No, who are you giving it to?
Giving it to the old man,
Okay.
Sean. He hands it to Sean, and it says Ver Helios and Constantina forever in
So
Latin.
The tall elf steps forward towards Sean and she says, "You know as well as I do that there is only one way for you to meet these people. I
I'm
sense
aware.
something else that you may have that would prevent you from doing so.
No. No, not that.
If you want to summon the red bird, you must destroy it.
I will not destroy it. It is the only thing that is keeping me going. You cannot ask me that. I'm willing to give everything, my soul, but not this. This is the one thing that will...
I can
This is
sh-
the-
I
this
can
is the
show
only
you.
way.
I can send you to your loved ones. You can see them again. You've almost passed the test. Your friends are relying on you now. Perhaps this has been journey enough.
I knew we couldn't trust the Fae.
There's always one more thing you want, isn't it? All of you Fae are the same. Always asking for more and more. I've given you what life I have left. I have given you my soul. You give me what I deserve. And yet you ask for more.
Priest stands up and says, I think I'm gonna take in my favor now.
I forgot about that.
Johnny Maxwell stands up and says, looks like I'm gonna have to trust you now.
There's some whisperings among the elves from the ones who ushered you up, and then the one in the middle steps forward towards you, Kree, and says, very well, very well. And what might that be?
We came here on invitation. To my knowledge, that is a favor already to you. We were not asking for anything specific. We were just guided here. And if you'd like us to meet the great bird so that we can actually take charge of the great snake, I think this is an exchange. Do not ask us to give up more than we can and have already. Whatever you need for us to go meet this bird, don't take it all from one person.
You've spoken wisely, halfling. I will not ask the old man to destroy his tome, even though it does contain the secret to immortality. He has accepted the burden of the flower. He has shared that pain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well
I would
done,
like to
young
meet this
lady.
bird now.
Well done. Well, I'm going to be honest. I forgot what we were doing here.
Very well. You have earned your place among the Silver Council, and now the time has come to summon the Red Hawk. And I think that's a good place to stop.
So when do we continue? And also, I need to get an update on my stats, so I'll email you the rest of the character quo.
Yes. Okay. So if it is your first time playing, you did not upgrade your dice. You upgrade your dice every other time. So if it is your second session, then you get to upgrade one of your dice. If it's your third, you don't. If it's your fourth, you do. So I've tried to keep track of that. I don't know how well I've done, but I believe that this is Kree's 5th session.
Yeah.
Johnny's 2nd. So Johnny, you'd be upgrading one of your die.
Okay.
Johnny didn't play. Chris's 7th session.
Yeah.
Vinny, this is your 2nd session. You get to upgrade one of your die because your character decided not to kill itself off.
Can I increase my dex?
Yeah, any die. Any die's fine.
Oh, sweet.
Verhelius, you get to, let's see. Yep, this is your 4th session, so you get to upgrade one of your die. Penelope is your 5th session, so next time.
Which dies?
These are your skill die. So it's one of the die for strength, dexterity, perception, or charisma. You get to upgrade it. So that means if it's a D6, you get to upgrade it to D8. If it's a D8, you get to upgrade it to D10, just the next die up. If you don't use a die for that skill you've chosen, then now you do. You use a D4 with it.
Yeah,
and
so
if it was that
D8.
bad skill that you're choosing to upgrade, you just negate the die.
Yeah, so D8.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing to Chris real quick?
Oh, of course.
Thank you. That was really fun.
That was beautiful.
I'm
Thank
really
you.
glad that you just like did yes and with me so hard.
I was the brain was churning trying to pick up on what you were putting down. I think I got there.
Yeah, because
but
like I wanted to show you that I am willing to do this with you, type thing. I don't know you, but I can feel your cause.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show you that like I had something that is important to me that I keep close to my chest that I would share with you. And I think that was a very fun moment.
It really was.
It was nice.
Yeah,
So,
I really
thank you for
appreciate
that.
that. That was some good stuff.
So I'll send a question for you.
Yes, Ivan.
Do you know what kind of chapter we can do on for role playing, and next time?
Yeah, so what I do is I kind of just reflect on what were some of the things that happened in the session, what are the characters kind of wanting, and I try to build the next adventure around that. So like we heard a lot from Sean Ronnery, and now he's got part of this flower that's been this thread between adventures. So I'm looking for those threads, and that's how I'm kind of
okay.
deciding like what situations to place you in, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Did I miss anybody as I was talking about the stats? I think that was everybody who participated. Okay. Yeah.
This is just my first
no.
session.
Jerry
so-
Jerry Oldman. Jerry Oldman.
This is your first session.
Yeah.
Gavin, were you participating or were you asleep in the forest somewhere? Or is Gavin gone?
I think he's asleep in the leaves.
Okay, so
Well, I'll just give my base stats here to start. So my good stat will be charisma, again, old man like Sean, and then my flaw will be strength because I'm not strong anymore.
got it. Are you a magicer in general? Is that your main thing?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not a fighter. Okay, got it.
Kind of a Gandalf type. You know?
Word.
Who might delve in a little bit of illicit substances from time to time, but not too many.
Sort of like a medieval ketamine.
Self-starving leaf, for example.
Right? Yeah. Don't tell my mother. Oh wait, I forgot. She died a long time ago.
You keep her shrunken head
It's
in your
me.
pocket.
I must have.
That's disgusting.
But also very genius.
So I've got to get my guns back at some point next round because that's my main weapon.
And I forgot, my character is strengthened through moonlight because I base my character stats like he in daytime he'll wear a cloak and a hat, but in nighttime he flows more fluidly and freely because the moonlight gives him more strength and the sunlight's not limiting him because he is a halfling. He's not entirely, it doesn't get entirely prone or weakened by ordinary objects of vampires, but the moonlight does give him the max amount of strength that he needs.
All right, guys, I just want to say thank you for participating. It's been a whirlwind evening. The future role plays will be more focused on the role plays, and they won't necessarily be free unless you're a some member. But this has been really cool experiment. I will give you a link if you're thinking about joining the membership. You're not sure, or you just want more information. You want to talk with our team. I'll give you the link to a consultation with that will be either with myself or Raj. So go ahead and open that up in the browser if you're thinking about it, just so you have it before we end the meeting. And then I don't know if I ever provided the link to the membership page, but there's more details obviously there, so I'll provide a link there too. And then
I hate to interject real quick.
Yeah.
But as a note for next time, because I think I definitely want to see if I can make the next time we have a role playing sesh, which I believe is the 20th, right?
I think so. I don't know off the top.
But
of my
yeah,
head.
I would definitely like to get my a character involved, and we can just jump in.
Yeah, just jump in. Like sometimes, like Vinny sent me an email with like a list of ideas for his character, which was super cool.
It was fun.
I was reading through it and I was like, okay, like I know how to start the session. Like he's just come back from this thing he said he was doing, right? I don't have time to tally up everyone's gold, but I'll do that next time. But like you could spend like gold, for instance, like, oh yeah, my character now has this cool item that I want to explore, or just think about, you can always send me an email. Anyway, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna get the date for you. Date is June 10th. June 10th. I can actually just put the link in the chat here for the next roleplay. And this one is free for members. Okay. All right. Yep. Send me a message. You can use the contact form on our website if you have any questions about how to get involved in anything else, workshops, etc. So. All right, guys. Have a great evening. Thanks again for joining, and
Thank you,
have a great week.
everyone.
See you
Thank you.
next
Bye.
week.
I had
Good time.
fun, as always.
Yeah, see ya. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Likewise. Join the
Yep,
fun.
take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So long.
See you, Austin.
Thank you, Austin. This was really fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was like, I was
thank you
not
for
sure.
thank you for the role playing game.
Of course, Ivan. We'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, have a good night.
I like the part where you know that I have the tome and you want me to give that up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was like, I can't do it. It's too easy.
I know.
I don't know.
I became aware that I was like in character, really pressuring your character, and I was like, "How's
was
he? Is he
perfect.
comfortable with this?" Like, I don't know.
No. I'm a working actor. I want you to challenge me like that because I was teetering. I was like, how good of friends are we?
Yeah.
Am I about to just reveal this huge moment
Yeah.
for these people? But I was like, no. A deal is a deal, and the Fae need to hold up to it.
Yeah.
And I've already figured out that I have a vendetta against the Fae because a Fae took my Sherry.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's why I needed to talk to them and negotiate with them. I was like steely, like I'm good. I'm gonna keep my cool. But as soon as they wanted the tome, this was the one thing that could actually get me closer to being around long enough to see her again.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it.
So it was
really
cool
fun.
how you played it. I really respect that. It was really fun. And then Cree came in with just the perfect way to get us forward, you know?
She did a great job. Like I'm so glad we encouraged her to help out. And like I tried my best to like hold it in about the iron because I like if like maybe like because like I was like, why would they be touching a firearm? Because it's made of iron. Some part of it is definitely going to be made of iron,
Yeah.
and they are definitely allergic to it in
Yeah.
culture. Like I read the Dresden Files like religiously, and that's where I got most of my lore from. And it's fantastic. James Marsters actually reads the books on tape. Sorry.
Okay,
Anyway,
yeah.
won't keep you. Definitely would love to email you some more ideas I had if you're interested.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, you know, it's all fertile ground for the next adventure, right? So your buy-in is extremely important to the story. So I'm all ears.
Thank you for indulging me.
Of course.
I really needed this tonight.
Oh, good. I'm really glad to hear that, Vinny.
Yeah.
All right. You have a great evening, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Cool beans. Well, it was fun. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, nice to Joe. Have I met you before? I think I met you once.
Yeah, I was at one of the I was at the last community hub thing, and that was where I signed up as a white belt
Yes.
member and submitted last minute auditions.
Yes, I'm so glad you did. Yeah, again,
Yeah.
you know, like we said, you can go ahead and submit the production audio if you want to, and we'll get you in the second edition.
Yeah.
Of the episode. So
I'm looking at
I can't
booking-
promise it's the second edition, and
Right,
it's
whatever
a ways
edition
off,
ends up
but
being,
yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
I'm looking at booking a consultation because I don't know if you had. Well, I guess you had the chance to listen to them, but yeah, I just reset up some microphone stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I hope I got it like sounding okay. So
Yeah, book a consultation, and we'll go through your. And you can also
Yeah.
send your audio over if you need if you need us to listen, you need a second opinion about your audio quality, or if you have questions about the performance stuff. But I think you're specifically asking about audio quality. So yeah, definitely send that over. You can just do an MP3 over email if that's easier for you. But yeah, you can book a consultation. You have your white glove onboarding consultation, of course. So
yes,
you can book that in your members area.
cool. Yep.
Okay.
So I'll look at booking that soon.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
All
Have a
right,
good
well,
night.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.